In today's video, we're going to take this Mustang from this to this. Stay tuned. Alright, here she is in all her glory. This is a late 90s, early 2000s Ford Mustang. And you might be asking, well, what's so special about this car? Well, let me tell you. So what makes this car special is this belongs to my father-in-law, and ever since he got it, I've been wanting to paint it for him, and that's what we're going to do this week as a gift. So as you can see, we got some chromoflage going on, as I like to call it. There's like 4 different colors of paint going on this car, but we're going to fix it for him. So yeah, we got lots of different colors going on here, lots of different issues. You can see right here, somebody bondoed it, and you can see pinholes in it, and good old rock chips and other things that are pretty common. So here's the plan, guys. We're gonna fix this up this week. We're not doing anything super fancy. We're not doing a show car. He's gonna be happy just to have it all one color, and that's what we're gonna go for. We're gonna do a base coat, clear coat. We're just gonna do a gray that's similar because that's the color that he wants to stay with, and then we're just gonna clear over it, make it shiny. But yeah, we're not gonna do a ton of body work, but we're gonna fix the rock chips and other issues. But yeah, we're gonna get it all fixed and looking decent. So the first thing we're gonna do, my wife's already started doing some of it, is we're gonna take 600 and we're gonna red Scotch Brite, and we're just gonna scuff the whole car and look for places with cosmetic issues that need to be repaired. And I told her to mark them with tape, which she's already started doing. So my father-in-law has done a lot for us over the years, and this is my way to give back. I think it'd be nice for him because he really likes this car, and I think it'd be nice to get one color and get rid of the chromoflage. So here we got our 2001 Mustang. I like to call the chromoflage Mustang. Um, so our first issue that we got is we got a chunk missing out of the hood. It's kind of hard to see there, but there is a chunk missing. So we're going to fix that. We're also going to fix all these rock chips. And the third thing we have is all this overspray, which we're going to have to smooth that out or it's going to come through the new paint. The second issue we have around here is up on the hood, up on the roof. We got some rock chips and a little chunk there we're going to fix. The last issue is there's a cracked bumper that was fixed with some silicone, and anybody that paints knows that silicone and paint don't mix. So let's get this in the garage and get to work. So we got the car in the garage. I'm going to use the red Scotch Brite, do just like what I did in the other video, just scuff, and when I see things I'll use masking tape to mark it. I'm going to go ahead and do the car, and whenever I come back I'll take you around the car and show you the issues I find. Alright, be right back. Alright, so I got some Windex on the right, we got some soapy water on the left, and we got our red Scotch Brite, which is 600 grit, and we're going to go ahead and get started here. So basically I just spray in soap and water on it, then using the Scotch Brite, and if I feel anything that gives any resistance, then I put a little piece of tape there that I'll go back and I'll sand that with 220 and then 320, and basically just repeat that over the whole car. This is how I find issues that are going to come through the paint after I paint. You're going to feel it way before you see it, so using your other hand to rub across after you scuff it up, or if you feel the pad hanging up on the surface, that's how you tell where you need to do some extra sanding and smooth it out. Alright, I'm going to let this dry. Once it does, we'll come back, we'll mark the spots. I already know where they're all at. In the meantime, I'm going to move on to the door down there and start making my way around. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and show you what we got so far. These areas right here, you can feel it. We're going to do some 220 sanding, see if we can get that smooth out. Because again, we're not doing a show car on this. This is just a quick paint job. So we're going to do 220 on these. And we're gonna Bondo anywhere that we have to. We have voids. I'm probably gonna use fiberglass on this. So yeah, the biggest thing is feel it with your hand. You're gonna feel it before you see it. Like something like this looks bad, but you can't feel anything. Whereas this one little black spot, I can feel it. And that's what you're looking for. Use your hands. Use your hands, not your eyes. But yeah, I can feel it. It's a little rough here. This whole spoiler is covered in overspray, so we're just gonna hit that with 220 and then 360. I think is what I got. Here you can see it, but there's a few spots you can feel it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start on this side, do the same thing, just basically scuff and look for imperfections that need to be addressed. This one right here, I'm gonna be doing some Bondo because it's got pinholes in it, especially right here. So we're gonna fill those. That's easy. But yeah, this hood is gonna suck. But yeah, this hood's gonna need a lot of Bondo work because like this right here, we're gonna have to feather out, and then we're gonna have to Bondo it. But I think the majority of the work on this car is gonna be this hood and this back bumper. Because yeah, we got a crack, I don't know if you can see it, that's filled with silicone. And anybody who does paint work knows that silicone and paint don't mix. So we're gonna have to grind that off and fix it right. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get the other side sanded down, find the spots needed addressed on the other side, and be right back. Alright, so I got through scuffing the car, I got my spots marked. And next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 220 on a soft pad, start making this smooth. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some of that. Make sure if you're enjoying this video to hit that like button. That tells me what you guys like to see and tells me what I should make. Alright, so I got 220 loaded on a DA. This hood is horrible, so we're going to go ahead and get it smooth. Alright, so it's a couple days later. We need to get this Bondo work done. So the first spot's right here. I don't know if you can tell that on camera or not, but there's a chunk missing out of the paint. So we're going to do some fiberglass there. We got a spot right here where we're going to do a little bit of Bondo. Right here where these runs are, once we sand these down, we're going to do a little bit of Bondo there because they love to come through the paint later on. And lastly, I'm going to get all this stuff sanded off, and we're going to do some fiberglass on here. So those are the areas we're going to correct. I'm going to go ahead and get some Bondo on. I got parent teacher conferences tonight, so it'll give it plenty of time to dry up so I can finish up when we get home. No matter what, I have to paint this tomorrow. I am out of time. Let me get this all cleaned up and we'll get busy. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up real good, and then I'm going to scuff it up with probably like an 80 grit, 80, 120, somewhere around there. Just so the fiberglass has something to bite to. Alright, so we're going to scuff this up. Again, just a little bit of a scuffing just so it has something to bond to. Now I'm hitting it with a little bit of denatured alcohol just to clean it out and get it ready. Alright, so next we're going to use a 60 grit flap disc to go ahead and get all this silicone off. Those of you guys that know, paint and silicone don't mix, so we're going to buzz this off and pretty much completely redo it. So let's get on it. Alright, now I'm going to mix up some fiberglass for both that front section and for this. And we're going to put it on here and smooth this out. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to look a lot better than it does now. Alright, so we got our glass on here. Not my best job ever. Some days I can put it on like glass, other days it looks like this, but it's good enough. I should be able to smooth that out. It'll look a lot better than it did. And I also got this on here. And now I'm going to mix up some Bondo and do the other two spots. And when we come back, we'll sand them down and get this thing ready to paint. Alright, for this one, nothing too fancy. I got a hard block and 220, and we're going to take these runs out. I got my fingers so I can feel where the edge is, so I don't scratch the lights. And we're just going to go until they disappear. We're going to Bondo over this so it doesn't matter if we stay in the same direction or not. It's pretty good to me. Alright, so we're going to go ahead. This is ready for Bondo. I'm going to scuff up this little spot on the roof and then we'll get some Bondo on here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get the DA. We're going to take 220 here and start getting this spoiler leveled out. This is not a show car. I'm going way beyond what I said I was going to do on this already. I mean, the owner said they were going to use tractor paint on it, so he'll be happy if it's just one color. Alright guys, I'm going to go do what I got to do here, and then when we get back, we'll get this wrapped up. Alright guys, I'm back. I'm going to go ahead and keep going on this. Our fiberglass is good and dry. So I'm not going to say, this video is getting kind of long, so I'll just show some parts of it. But for now, I'm going to turn the camera off, put on some music, and sand for hours. So let me get going. So basically, I'm not really going to show it, but what I'm going to do with the fiberglass is we're going to do 60 grit on the DA. And then we'll go to 120, 220, 320, and paint it. So I'm not really going to show a whole lot again because it's going to get really boring for you guys. So I'm going to get to work and I'll show some of my progress on the way. 10 millimeter, 4 volts. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and tape up this rear light here so it doesn't get scratched up. It's covered in overspray, but still I don't want to scratch it up in case we might be able to get that off with rubbing alcohol. So I'm going to go ahead and get this trunk lid prepared. Alright, now we're going to go over everything with 320. And that's pretty much it. Wipe it off and repeat all over the car. Get all this overspray off. Alright, I'm going to do some work and come back and show you guys some results. Our first shaping is done. That was 60 grit. Now we're going to bump up to 120, actually 150, and smooth that out. Then we'll go 220 and 320. Alright, let's take a look. And after the 150, looks so much better than I did with that boogery silicone all over it. So now we'll do 220 and 320. Alright, so I got the first run through with 60 grits. Let's see, that was where that big hole was in here. Oh, there we go. It's right here was where that big hole was in that crack. So now we're going to do our 150. Once we finally get this one done, we're done with Bondo. Then we just got to do the hood with 320. And beside the front bumper, we'll be ready for paint, which I might have to do tomorrow because I'm going to back the car out to do that. But it could be the last thing I do before paint. We're going to give it a good wash too. So let me get on this. So this is our 150. Alright guys, about 11 o'clock and we're wrapping up the car. The last thing we gotta do is this bumper. I'm just basically from here up getting everything nice and smooth, and down there I'm just gonna scuff because nobody's gonna see it anyway. And again, this whole car was supposed to be that way, but $320. Alright, we're gonna wipe this down, scuff everything that we missed, and we're ready for paint as ready as we're gonna get it. Just gonna wrap this big up, guys. The next one will be painting. See you then. Alright, so we're getting ready to paint this thing. I got it all taped up. I got my makeshift paint booth, kinda. I need all the room in the garage, so I'm only doing 2 walls. It's actually more to keep overspray off the stuff on the sides. But yep, we're gonna paint it today. It's no longer gonna be the camouflage Mustang. So yeah, I'm gonna go get some cleaner clothes on without the dust, and we'll start wiping this down, get ready to paint. Be right back. So I usually don't like to paint under 60 degrees, but it's not gonna happen this year. We're not gonna get above 60 again. It's taking me forever to get this thing painted because it keeps raining, snowing, and so on. So today it's gonna get painted. It's probably gonna be a late night session. I'm gonna do 3 coats of base coat and 3 coats of clear coat. I'm gonna do 3 coats of base coat because I'm gonna try to cover this up. I don't want the stuff to bleed through, hopefully. So hang tight, I'm gonna get the rest of the stuff ready. We'll get this thing wiped down and get ready to start throwing some paint on it. Be right back. Alright, here's the paint we're gonna be using in the clear. We are using Mineral Gray by Custom Paints. It's off of Amazon. And then here's the clear that I like. So let's get to it. And I'm going to stop the video right here because it was too cold and the paint would not mix. I actually ended up spraying some of this and it came out like clear. It was just too cold and the paint would not work. So I had to go through and let the paint warm up in the house and paint the following day. Here I'm re-wiping down the car with fuel alcohol to get it ready to paint. So finally, after sitting in the house overnight, the paint was warm enough and it mixed well. I think it was like 52 degrees whenever I started painting here, which was as warm as it was going to get, so it was time to go. Here I'm making some last minute adjustments to the gun, and we'll get our paint loaded up and get started painting this car. So this is actually the first time I've ever painted a full car at one time. So this is actually the first time I've ever painted a full car at one time. Usually I do it in pieces and sections, so I'm gonna get some fun practice in this one. Plus I'm gonna be doing 6 total coats, which typically I used to do single stage, and then now I've gone to base coat, clear coat. But usually I do 2 of the base coat and then 2 to 3 of the clear. So this is going to be a lot of work that I'm not used to doing this much at once. So it'll be fun. We'll see how it turns out. So on this first coat, it's going to be a light coat. We're just going to want light coverage. Unfortunately, I twisted my ankle on the air hose and fell down, but I knew that I already had all the paint mixed up and there's $300 in paint, so I had to tough it out and limp my way around and do the next 3 coats of clear coat. I also put my hand on the hood, so I gotta fix that area as well. It was not fun. I got a big knot on my elbow and my knee from that, but like I said, I had to tough it out because there was no stopping. Once you start painting, you got everything mixed up. You got to keep going. So I'm just going to have to limp it out and get it done. And I did. After my injury, I didn't move the camera again, and I'm not going to show the next 2 sprays because it's the same thing. I'm just doing the same thing over and over here. So let's see what the results look like. So here it is after drying for a couple days here. I do have some orange peel I'm going to have to sand out, which is not surprising at all because with the colder temperature, that's what I was afraid of, but definitely not too bad at all. Right here's this fender where it had the Bondo issue. Looks really good. Really just the hood and the roof needs a little bit of color sand and buff, just cut and buff, just to kind of level it out. But overall, it came out really good. This right here is actually not ripples, it's just a reflection of the plastic on the side. It's actually really, really nice and smooth. Right here's the bumper we did. Can't even tell unless you look real close. Looks really good. Let's go see the other side. Right here's where I touched it, so I gotta fix that. Whenever I fell, I put my hand on the hood to get back up. So yeah, you can see a little bit of orange peel. You can't even really feel it, so it's gonna come out really easy. Plus a couple little dirt nibs. The sail panel looks really good. Looks really good. And here's another shot of the back bumper where we did the repair. I know it's night out, so I had to throw a light on it, but yeah, it came out really good. So if you guys want me to do a video whenever I do the cut and buff on this, let me know in the comments. If you want to see that video, subscribe. If you liked this video and it helped you out or was entertaining, make sure you hit that like button and all that good stuff, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.